In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina.
Hello, welcome to our webcast on Phoenix technology. The Phoenix story has been a long time in development. Phoenix tines are a huge step forward and at this time are exclusive products available only from Ceresturf. How and why Phoenix tines are better and their limitations is the subject of this video. But first I'd like to tell you about how Phoenix tines are made. It's so much more complex than a comparable heat-treated tine. Our Phoenix treatment is a thermochemical transformation of the base metal alloy, which is 4140 high carbon steel alloy. The Phoenix treatment is not a coating and cannot chip off. There are many spray-on applications available today, and we've even flirted with a few of these ourselves, but none measured up. During the chemical transformation, the 4140 becomes an entirely new and much more durable compound. There are many steps in making a Phoenix tine. First, we make a tine substrate out of 4140 high carbon alloy, as we do our standard heat-treated tines. At this point, it looks very much like a finished tine, but instead of sending them out for standard heat treating, we begin the Phoenix process. Each tine is subjected to a thermochemical reaction of the 4140 steel so that the surfaces, all external surfaces down to a certain depth, become a totally new compound. This transformation is done under tremendous heat, far greater heat than is used in a typical heat treating process, and in a vacuum under unimaginable pressures. These tines are then cooled down in a very special way, and how much is confidential. Then there is one last step, another secondary heating process before a final cooling. Each tine has a strict protocol. Each has a different mass and dimension. This is all very time consuming, very expensive, and must be done under very exacting controls. This process takes several weeks, and after the final cooling, the tines are ready to be packaged. Exactly how the Phoenix process is done and what the 4140 becomes is confidential, but we can look at some of the properties. First, let's consider hardness. 4140 alloy steel after a typical heat treating process measures in the range of 46 to 48 on the Rockwell C scale. Tine hardness is typically measured on the Rockwell C scale, which is represented as whole numbers. This scale is not a straight line increase, but rather a logarithmic scale such that a difference between 43 and 44 is very, very significant. To understand how hard 48 RC is, you only have to know that many of the most prestigious gun barrels are made from 4140. The Rockwell C scale only goes up to 72 due to testing limitations. Phoenix hardness is above a theoretical 85 RC. This is like turning the entire external surface of the tine into a sheet that is diamond hard. We can see and measure this at a microscopic level, and that's exactly what we do with photomicroscopy, which is exactly how we test and measure for quality assurance. It is important to understand that since all external surfaces are treated, the inside barrel of a coring tine is actually an external surface as well. So what does this mean for you? A Phoenix tine has the longevity of 2 to 4 times a comparable standard tine, without the negatives associated with carbide tips. Negatives such as wearing above the tips so that the tip will fall off. The cut of a carbide tip tine is blunt. You can see the depression around the holes, and this extends the grow-in period significantly. Phoenix tines have no rough transition behind a carbide tip that will pull up turf and cause tufting. The core composition or integrity is much better with a Phoenix tine because the core can transition more smoothly up the barrel. Our Phoenix treatment reduces the coefficient of friction on all surfaces that the core might encounter. It is very important to understand the wear properties of Phoenix tines. The look of a Phoenix tine is quite different from that of a carbide tip with the same amount of wear. Phoenix tines wear very much like a standard non-carbide tip tine, only much, much slower. Carbide tip tines also do get shorter, but this is rarely noticed since it's only about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch over 18 holes. Carbide tip tine wear is often overlooked since it's their sidewalls that wear out. They get continually thinner until there is a catastrophic failure and the tip falls off. Since all surfaces are treated, Phoenix tines have virtually no sidewall thinning. They simply get shorter, but very, very slowly. We have frequent reports of Phoenix coring tines and the larger quad tines only losing 3/8 to 1/2 inch over a full 19 greens. However, every soil is different and your experience may be quite different. A Phoenix tine should be considered in good service until it wears all the way to the pocket cutout. Phoenix tines don't last forever, but then neither do carbide tip tines. You may wonder how to decide whether to use a carbide tip tine from CTI or a Phoenix tine. Primary consideration should be whether you are more interested in longevity or bringing up more material. Additionally, Phoenix tines have a better cut and core and a faster grow in. All of these are advantages and of consideration. If longevity is the most important factor, you may want to choose carbide. But if you want to pull up the maximum volume possible with the least amount of trauma for your turf, you should look at a Phoenix tine. If you wish to see the experience others have had with Phoenix tines, go to our customer forum for the many real-life examples of how Phoenix tines have performed. There you'll see just a small part of the Phoenix story. You can be part of the Phoenix story too. Please remember, your experience may be different from the ones shown in our customer forum. You may even get better results. We welcome the comparisons. If you have additional questions, please call our office and speak to one of our customer support people. They all have extensive experience and can guide you in the right direction. Thank you for listening.
Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Guess I'm gone